what the memo and article is to the company is what the constitution is to the country. The memo creates the company. A, B, C come together to risk their assets and agree on what they want to do together. They form the company. That's the memo is the document that bring them together to become XYZ Limited. Coming to do, they will define what they want to come to do in that memo. The other document, the one we call articles. We call memo and articles as if they are two separate documents. The articles is now defining and spelling out the relationships between the owners of XYZ Limited. What are they? Who is going to be bringing what? Who is going to be taking what? If there's a problem, how are they going to be solving it? If somebody has to join them, what are the terms? And all kinds of things about how to run the affairs of the XYZ Limited that had already been created by way of the memo. In the case of the Constitution, the preamble to the Constitution is in two parts. The first part that says, we the people of Federal Republic of Nigeria, having firmly and solemnly resolved to live in unity as one indivisible, indissoluble country called Nigeria. That's the memo. We, the Ijo, we, the Igbo, we, the Ogoni, we, the Idoma, having firmly and solemnly resolved. That means they have sat down and considered all the other options, and they decide that they want to be in one political union to be called Nigeria. That is the claim. Then you come to the second part of that preamble. That first part is the memo creating the enterprise called Nigeria. The second part where they now come to say, do hereby give unto ourselves, enact, make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. That is the articles, because it is in that having agreed to form union that they come down to the second question of what are the terms of our relationship, what are the things the center will have to do, what are the things the federating units will have to do, who owns this, who brings that, all kinds of things that you now find in the constitution. What powers will the federating units have, what powers will the center have, what can the president do, what can the governor not do. And it is the exclusive business, the exclusive prerogative of those constituents, the ones who are bringing their lands and their people, their sovereignties together to form that Nigeria. They are the ones who have to spell out those terms. They are the ones who are committing their land and their people in the memo. They are the ones who are spelling out those terms in the article. And most of the things that are now troubling everybody, oil and gas access of the Niger Delta is seized simply because that exclusive list, put oil and gas there. We don't have electricity simply because it is now the center only that can generate electricity, unlike what we agreed before. Most of the things on that exclusive list today were things the regions were doing for themselves. Their assets belong to them, but this one we have now have taken over the assets because of that unilateral truncation of that agreement in 1966 by virtue of the military coups that happened. The government in its three arms, executive, legislative, and judiciary, they are all parts of the management team of that enterprise called Nigeria. And the same way it is the exclusive business, the exclusive prerogative of the owners of the company, the shareholders, those who put their assets down to form the company, only them can write their memo and their article. No, it's not the management they hired that will be doing that for them, because what you find is that they will just go and remove the people that own the company and put their own names and then become the owners, chasing the real owners away from the premises. It is the exclusive business of the owners of the enterprise to make their memo an article. It's not the business of the management they hired. What happened in Nigeria since 1966 was that the government of the time, the hired management, toppled the union agreement and began to impose their own, instruments progressively by decree from that point up till this date. That is how Nigeria got into the mess it is in now. Those constitutions were now replaced by one constitution for a federation. So we ceased to be a federation from the point those 5 constitutions got toppled by military fiat, and then progressively by decree they replaced all the assets that belong to the regions, got confiscated by that center. And in that confiscation, they've put them in an exclusive list, all those assets and the powers to work those assets, including electricity generation, including refinery, including policing, including all the arrangements that made us a federation were turned upside down, and that's why Nigeria has gotten to where it is now. The corruption we talk about created by that centralized arrangement. The insecurity we cry about now, created by that centralized arrangement. You cannot do anything about this security situation in which all the arms, because arms, firearms and ammunition are on that exclusive list that only the central and federal government can control. Unless that constitution goes down, the exclusive control of the arms in all of wherever they may be used, whether it's by the army or the police or the air force or the navy or the DSS, every agency, immigration, customs, every agency that will carry arms, prisons, are now in the hands of a federal government. Then that federal government that ceased to be, because by the time the federation was toppled in the 66, the federal government that emerged was an illicit federal government. You can't have a federal government without a federation. If we cease to be a federation, why do you come to pretend you are a federal government that all of us are still the ones deciding what will happen? No. One section of the country hijacked that federal government. The federal government had hijacked the federation. A section of the country hijacked that federal government. That section of the country that hijacked that federal government is the Fulani that is now, executing a conquest design by way of ethnic cleansing against the rest of the indigenous, peoples of Nigeria. All the things they did by decree and brigandage since 1966, they collated by what has now become the 1999 Constitution. They first collated them in 1979 and carried it forward by 1999. And that is what they call the Constitution now. And they had the audacity to put our signature at the base of the document as the authors of our damnation, in that claim that we the people. That's why the Fulani is saying they own all of the land in Nigeria. Anybody who is asking why are they saying so, it is that constitution that says that we have submitted ourselves and our lands into the union that is the title deed upon which they are acting. And somebody will be wondering, why are the guns in their hands? It is because of the exclusive list on that constitution that says only the federal government can control all the arms. That is what put the guns in the federal government that they have also found a way to hijack to the exclusion of everybody else. And therefore, the constitution we have now is a forgery to the extent that it claims that we, the people, made it when we did not. What is the definition of forgery? I'm a lawyer of many years, and I don't know of any other definition of forgery than Mr. X pretending to be the author of a document by Mr. A. The Constitution of 1999, in Section 6, subsection 6C, nullifies the benefits of the citizens that are spelled out in Chapter 2, including security and welfare of the citizen. All the promise about equal treatment for every citizen, all the promise about education and healthcare and all kinds of good things, anything you might expect as citizen is included in that Chapter 2. But that provision in Section 6, subsection 6C, nullifies that Chapter 2. Let those who are listening ask the lawyers in the land whether it is not so. The benefits of the citizens under this Constitution of 1999 is nullified by Section 6, subsection 6C. And those in government house those who swear to defend and uphold that constitution from every part of Nigeria, whether they're in the Senate, or they're in the House, or they're in the Assembly, or they're governors, or they're the president, all of them know that they are deceiving the citizen. The people who are pretending they're going to fight corruption with this document, they're just criminals. They're just criminals because we have explained it enough to them. The Constitution creates avenues, massive avenues for corruption. The Constitution gives the spare keys to the Treasury, to the heads of the executive branch by the appropriation provisions. In section 81, 82, the president. In section 121, 122, the governors. And then the same Constitution gives them blanket immunity. So if the government build road or school or provide security for you or think about your welfare, they are just doing you a favor under this Constitution. And if they do not do anything listed in chapter 2, you have no recourse against them. You have no legal remedy against them. You can't even complain. The courts are barred from listening to you. The government does not owe the citizen any obligation at all. And so if they do not owe you obligation in black and white, it's discretionary to them. So that is one item. The benefits that are supposed to come to the citizen are compromised, are nullified by that Constitution.